Next slide. What it is mentioned? EFE Matrix. Just like ETOP. Just like ETOP, the external factor evaluation matrix, that is EFE matrix, helps to summarize and evaluate the various components of external environment. The EFE matrix can be developed in 5 steps. List 10 to 20 important opportunities and threats. Assign a weight to each factors from 0.0, that is not important, to 1.0, most important. The higher the weight, the more important is the factor to the current and the future success of the company. Assign a rating to each factor, that is 1 poor, 2 average, 3 above average, 4 superior. The rating indicates how effectively the firm's current strategies responds to that particular factor. Multiply each factor's weight by its rating to determine a weighted score. Finally, add the individual weighted scores for all the external factors to determine the total weighted score for the organization. So, after reading out this particular slide, that is written as a EFE matrix. What it can be said as? At first, EFE, the full form is External Factor Evaluation Matrix. About this, I was telling you why? Because EFE is a short form. For learning the details of anything, you will have to understand the full form of the particular term at first. So, external factor evaluation matrix, it can be said as that it is a strategical evaluation or strategical analysis tool which can be used or which can be applicable for analyzing and assessing the business firm's external environment and then revealing the strengths as well as the weaknesses. Means the strength and the weaknesses, which can also be said that the strength and weakness it is required to maintain aside among each other, so that the external and the internal factors can get evaluated in a best possible manner, where it can be said as that the EFE, it will be able to provide and also it will be able to help the business for analyzing and evaluating and assessing the external factors. That will also help to discover and also comprehend the marketing trends, competitive dynamics and regulatory changes. That can also create an effectiveness over the organization's success or the success level of the organization. So, EFE matrix, how it can get evaluated? It can get evaluated through a different strategical methods, or you can also say that different strategical methods which can be based on the few related points or few related rating accordingly to each factors that have been also mentioned over here under this slide. So, the ratings of the EFE matrix as the information is given over here under this slide can be said as that it always identifies that how the company's current strategy is effective, what can be the effectiveness level of the company's current strategical method, and how well it can be able to maintain the or can be able to manage the external opportunities and the threats. So, the rating accordingly it gets ranges from the 1 to 4, where the 1 is the poor rating, 2 an average, 3 an above average, 4 is a superior ratings. So, the EFE matrix and its competitive profile matrix It always identifies what the business firm's major competitors and their strengths and weaknesses in related to the firm's strategic position or a particular business firm's strategic positions. So the main comparison between the EFE matrix and the competitive profile matrix is that competitive profile matrix, it reassembles the external factors evaluation, and the EFE matrix, it always analyzes through the comparison to the other organizations or with the other companies in related to the organization or in related to the competitive organization or competitive companies. So this can be said under this particular slide, and now we will be going to our next particular slide.